2, 1. We're live. Oh my god, I actually did the countdown.
And now
Hi,
we have to
everybody.
start over.
No, we're live now. We're here. We're started.
All right.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Rolls to Astonish. I'm going to be your host tonight, Haley, as usual, because Steven once again is not here.
Ooh.
So he is not an eternal GM. He's not even an eternal host at this point. So you're stuck with us, as well as tonight's game, Operation Hotblood, and its creator behind it, who is going to be our GM tonight, Cody.
Yes, tonight I'm doing the GM. Usually, well, I mean, not usually at this point, but sometimes I get to play as the adorable lolly jester Joe.
Alright, and you'll also have me playing as Alric, the cyborg werewolf that, at this moment, is potentially going to be facing issues, but we will get to that later in the recap. We also have playing tonight Evan.
Hi, I'm Finn Sharkman. Half shark, half man, all sharkman.
We also have Zach.
Hi, I'm playing Adele, dragon human hybrid. Going to punch some more shit. Well, punching's not going to be the most viable thing now. However, we'll find out as we go.
And finally, we have Dan.
Finally. I'm playing Rye, the cyber jackalopian, who just wants his family back. Thank you very much.
Alric's in the same boat, but at this point, there's so much other shit going on that
Yeah.
these priorities are a little bit jumbled right now.
Well, okay then. So professional entrance as always. Could we get a recap for last game from Dan, the recap man?
You do give the best.
You do.
I'd like to say,
I mean, you write them, so you're kind of the best guy for the job.
for the best recap, go watch the episode.
For an even more superior recap.
Yeah, if you want an absolute pristine recap, just watch the previous episode. Come on now, what you doing with your life?
Come on, you
Honestly,
got all
nothing.
that time
What are you
in
gonna
that
do,
in
go
quarantine. Go ahead. You got 5 hours to waste. Go ahead. Go watch.
Yeah, at this
It was
point
a
with all
The
really
episode's
long
only
session.
3 hours and 45 minutes.
Well, shit.
Yeah,
that's
with
even
all
less
the-
time. Go fucking
yeah,
watch.
with all the shutdown stuff going on, people have plenty of time now.
Anyway, so about that recap.
So the group drove to the city of Pampastry on their way to back to Victor in order to spend some of their winnings from the session before. The smell is overpowering, so Ulrich uses his shirt to make a makeshift mask, and Rye responds in a way that makes Ulrich uncomfortable. They end up yeah, basically. They end up purchasing upgrades to their weapons and armor. That's more purchasing weapons and armor, more purchasing weapons and armor. Recruit Spids, a 6-armed spider person who is a former research subject of Victor's. And then as they're about to head to Hologrove and face Victor, Joe points out he's coming to them. So they go confront Victor about it and end up having to fight him. That fight lasts for quite a while. Let's see. He grabs his daughter and drops down through the floors out of the ship. And the only person capable of following as quickly as he's going is Rye. So Rye ends up doing a one-on-one for a little while.
And miraculously survives.
Does not die, yes. The rest of the group...
First time.
You did. We're very proud of it.
The rest of the group is facing
Anyway,
off
anyway.
with Igor, um,
Who was soundly
which
drilled into the paint.
very much so.
Igor didn't last very long, did
I
he?
pummeled him
Not
good.
really. He was probably meant to last longer, but Adele was just too much for him.
I will punch the shit out of
Yeah.
everything.
The boost from Finn didn't hurt.
It did not.
It didn't hurt at all.
Mm-mm.
Well, I mean, it hurt Igor.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
it
did.
hurt Igor.
Anyway, the rest of the group finally made their way down to where Victor and Rai were fighting. Adele pulls Rai out of the way to safety. Finn is meanwhile heading up instead of down, and ends up taking on the Alpha. You know, Auric's dad.
Yeah.
Garant.
A lot of fighting went on.
A
A
lot.
lot of fighting went on.
A lot of splitting
It
of
was
the party
very
went on,
action
too.
packed. Very action packed episode.
No, because
Yep.
it's like the group started together and then we split as we started fighting more and more. It's just like,
At one point, we had a
fuck.
3-way split.
Pretty
Yeah,
much.
we
Yep.
did.
Yep.
You know the old saying, split the party.
That's the best idea, right?
Oh, I mean, splitting a party is never necessarily a good idea. However, it is a much more cinematic one, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, you're absolutely right.
However, is it why?
in this case, it made sense,
Yeah.
And worked out.
and I got to use Ghost. But yeah, so eventually Finn defeats the Alpha. Ulrich and Adele defeat Victor with a little bit of help from Rai. And
Basically tearing him apart.
then the ship crash lands. Everybody on the ground manages to dodge out of the way.
Thank
Barely.
goodness. Because that was a shit show, because it was basically Ulrich dragging Adele, dragging Rai.
Essentially.
That was adorable and hilarious in my mind's eye.
Yeah, I'd say now, if somebody can draw like that sort of visual, just the three of them running from this crashing ship, I'd appreciate it.
Well, maybe one of our 3 viewers is an artist, and maybe they will.
Maybe.
Maybe. At any rate, as soon as the ship settles, the group heads back to it to help rescue the captives. Oh, I missed a bit there. Whoops. And
Yeah, Dan, you had one job to start with.
It's a lot to go over.
Good job.
Victor,
This one was a big one, though.
Victor ends up punching his way back out of the ship. Yes, we just obliterated everything that was left of him, but apparently he decided to leave behind a clone and transfer his consciousness at the last moment.
Adele, ghost punch.
Basically, yes. In the distance, Moon looks at the characters from between his legs, then slips off screen before Victor suddenly stops ranting, looks down, and his upper half simply topples off.
Adele raises his arms in the air. Thank you, Moon.
And then we pretty much rush on board because Alric is done with this bullshit and just wants to get this over with. Just fuck this, hurry before the next one pops up out of nowhere.
All right. And that is where we left off. So, real quick, before we get to the game, last thing is I wanted to dole out rewards from last session. So, sorry guys, you definitely deserve the full amount of EXP from last session, which would be a huge amount, but you guys are like almost level 10 now, and we got to slow that down. So I'm awarding 10 experience points this time.
Okay.
Hey,
No big deal.
So yeah, so 10 experience points. Let's talk about fate counters. So, Dan, you're like, I thought it was really cool when when Rai, who was like the only person who could follow Victor at that time, chased after him, and you had like that one-on-one face-off. Like, even though there was like no way that your character could win, like the fact that you had the hot-blooded guts to like stand and like face off with that monster by yourself was pretty freaking awesome.
Essentially staring
So
death in the face.
staring death back in the face, but you didn't run. I mean, you kind of ran when Adele saved you, but that's okay. Like, the point is that you chased after him to keep him from escaping when you were the only one who could do that. Even though your character knew that that could very well cost him his life. So that was pretty cool. So I'm awarding you one fate counter, and I'm also awarding you a bonus fate counter. Because even though this might have kind of started as Ulrich's arc, this was really your arc too, because like your guys' storylines were just so interwoven and intermeshed, and this was really, a battle for you to find your family. So you get an extra fate counter for surviving your arc. Haley, so you had some really cool final dialogue moments against Victor. Like, you also had a pretty cool face off with him. But the thing that like really sold me on like giving the fate counter to you was like your last line to him when you were talking about being on the operating table. That was just a cool way to finish things off and a way to kind of close out the rivalry in a way. And so I'm awarding you a fate counter. And also, like Dan, this was your arc. You successfully survived it, so you get a bonus fate counter on top of
Woohoo!
that. Okay, so Zach,
Hmm?
you figured out my master plan. um, so you props to you for figuring that out. That took things in a very different direction than originally they were planned to go, but that's fine. That's cool. That's interesting. So you get a fate counter for that, and then also the corpse burning scene. I mean, that was like pretty simple, but it was also just like, I don't know, there was something beautiful about that.
It was sweetly morbid.
It was morbid.
Yeah,
And
well, beautifully morbid, but just like, yeah, like it's one thing to know that like, hey, if we destroy the corpse, it'll piss Victor off. Like, that's kind of expected. But the burning embrace, where you kind of did it, like almost in like a gentle way, like it was kind of beautiful. So I'm awarding you 2 fate counters. Evan. So, you had some pretty cool showcases this episode. Like, I mean, like, really, these kind of string together, but I couldn't just give you one. Like, I had to give you 2 fake counters for this. Just like the time that you just zip lined up and you just had your Pirates of the Caribbean moment where you're just like, you guys go do your thing. I gotta take care of something, and then you like went up to help save all of the passengers. That was really cool.
Unfortunately, we
And
could
then
not
like
play the
on
Pirates of the
top of
Caribbean
that,
theme to go along with it because copyright reasons. Damn it, Disney.
oh, Disney can
you
shut up.
are a pirate.
Um, on top of that, like your face off with the Alpha was a really cool fight, and what like really sold me on it, for the extra fake counter, like at the end, was when you had your freaking Tarzan moment, and you just lifted up the Alpha like Sabor into the air, and it was that was really cool. Okay, so that's all of the rewards for today, or for last session, I should say. Somehow it worked out that everybody just got 2 fake counters, so I guess that's cool. Even numbers. So yeah. So the last thing that happened is half of Victor's body just kind of fell down and like the legs just toppled down in front of you. And so you guys are just all staring at the ship right now.
I figure
I
we were
burn
heading
the
inside.
Burn the corpse, go inside.
Okay.
Pretty much was the plan. Burn the corpse, get the fuck in. Because
Save
Finn's
everyone.
still on the ship along with everybody else. So
I'm
we
going
gotta
out.
free our families and we gotta get him the fuck out.
Okay. So you take a moment to just burn up Victor's corpse. And let's see. You guys would be entering at on my okay. So you guys would probably be entering at floor 3 would probably be the first layer that would be available to you. Okay. So you're running through on floor 3. You can see like a lot of wrecked machinery, a lot of wrecked fans. Where are you heading to? What's your destination?
We could split up. You guys go save your family.
No, yes, as long as you can track down Finn, that works.
Adele splits off to go further up to go get
Okay, let me
Finn.
get this going. Just so we have some background.
Hey, you guys sound really, really quiet. Is there any way you can bump up your volume?
Let me adjust it real
Let
quick.
me. I'll
You can
get a little
bump
closer.
theirs. They sound normal to me.
Hello. Is that better?
Alright, I increased mine a little bit.
I'll move my mic closer. Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
It's just sometimes you sound really quiet. You and Haley both.
I mean, my mic
Okay.
setting is just like to jitter like nuts.
I'm just quiet.
Okay.
Sorry,
All
my
right.
brother just walked into my room to ask me to take him the sheets.
Damn.
My bad.
Are you gonna?
It's all
check-
right. We were a little sidetracked
Oh, no.
anyway.
Oh, do you need to? Are you gonna take a break real fast?
Oh, no, I'm not.
Okay.
He just wants to go because he's drunk.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. So Adele's heading up to floor 29. So it's gonna be so you got to fly through
Wrecked.
26 levels. Where's everybody else heading?
I still have the schematic from the first time we were here. So,
As a reminder to everybody else who doesn't have the schematic, floors 1 through 6 are the lower levels, dedicated to the turbines and generators that keep the ship floating. Level 7 was where Victor's daughter was kept, and it was kind of the hub of where all the life force was going to be absorbed. Levels 8 through 14 were just the main machine. Level 15 was the starting level that you guys first crashed the bus into. 16 through 17 hold the robot creation factories. Level 18 houses the dogs. 19 houses the scientists. 20 is where experiments are done. 21 through 22 is where the bunnies are kept. 23 through 28 is just more machine. 29 was the throne room, and 30 was the top floor before the roof.
Damn.
and I've got that pulled up in the recap from session 16 so that I can refer to it as necessary. So,
All right, so
yeah,
where is everybody heading?
got to figure out a way to get up to 18 at least.
Okay.
That shouldn't be too
Should
hard.
I've Should I give you guys a lift up on my way?
I mean, if you want to, sure. If not, I think we can figure something out.
All right. Up to you. Up to you guys. You can probably Spider-Man your way up, honestly.
It would probably take a lot less time to fly up. We'll have to figure out our own ways down, but
Yeah.
Well, Adele will stop in the entryway to the elevator, where the elevator should be. It's like, you guys need a lift?
Sure. Might help out.
at least to level 18.
Yeah, since the elevator no longer exists at this point.
And,
Wonder who did that.
good job, by the way.
I mean, I just kind of followed through with logic. It's like they went straight down. If they weren't chopped up by the fan blaze, they just probably wouldn't gone underneath the ship. Might as well drop down and give them a surprise instead of coming in just visibly out of nowhere.
Fair enough. All right, let's go. He offers his hands.
Howard takes a hold of one.
And Rye the other.
All right. Adele flies up.
Don't take off my arm with it!
Hold on tight.
Okay. So at a pretty decent pace, Adele is really strong at this point in the story. You guys zip up through the floors and land on floor 18, where Adele drops you guys off, and I'm assuming keeps going up to floor 29, correct?
Yep.
Okay. All right, so on floor 18, you guys can see like a bunch of cells. Like, they kind of make you think of dog kennels in a way, even though it's more shaped like a prison cell. Like, it still somehow makes you think of like a pound or something. All of the doors are open, and you can see all of the wolves still in their wolf forms, with their metallic upgrades. They've left their cells, and they're kind of wandering around. They seem confused.
This is strange. Very strange. What the hell happened?
I'm not sure.
Well, they're
Maybe
definitely
the
not
crash threw
aggressive.
things off?
Well, they're not aggressive, but I don't think the crash would take my father out. Not that easily. What the hell happened up there? Well, let's see if we can get them to at least listen and follow us. If not, then we'll figure something out. Come on.
'Kay.
Zarek just kind of walks ahead towards the group.
Okay, so you're walking through the wolves. Like, what are you doing? Are you trying to go up to the next level? Like, are you trying to interact with the wolves?
Basically trying to see if we can get the wolves to convene and maybe probably try to follow us.
Okay.
At least make an attempt.
Okay, so a couple of the wolves get up curiously. Like, you see one of the wolves kind of like starts sniffing at Rye and like nips his hand a bit.
I could probably growl in response.
All right, so the wolf backs down a bit. You see, so a group of the wolves start to collect around you, but not in a threatening way. More of a curiosity. So so there are about half of them are following you.
Alright, and probably at the same time as he's looking around, would Ulrich actually spot Liam among them?
You see Liam, and he's just in a corner. And he's just got one knee, like his arm is propped up on one knee, and he just has his head hanging down. He's just hanging out in the shadow.
Ark just kind of quietly sighs, just like, let's see how long it's actually been. And with that, he just kind of starts making his way through the crowd towards him.
So the wolves part for you. So Liam, like his head comes up a little bit, but he doesn't really acknowledge you. You know that he knows you're there, but he hasn't said anything yet.
Liam,
So he slowly looks up at you.
I know it's been a while, a long while, but I'm not sure exactly what to say at this point, to be honest.
I'm not really sure what to say either. What we had with the Alpha, it wasn't natural, and I know that now. I think I always knew that, but still, I'm sorry for the trouble that I put you through, Ulrich, but even now, he kind of like holds himself a little bit tighter. He's like, I miss it.
I know,
Something is wrong with our bond. And if we don't fix it soon, or at least fix the chemical that's inside of us, all of us are gonna go mad and we'll probably tear each other up and everyone around us.
I know one of my friends is already on his way up to figure out exactly what the hell happened. But till then, I suppose the next best course of action would be, well, he kind of glances back at Rye before glancing towards Liam. We need to find whatever frickin' lab that he had on this ship that could make the serum. And see what we can do.
Liam kind of nods and slowly gets up. He's like, would be on floor 20.
Alright. That's next floor up then. Kind of glances back at Rye. It's just like, let's try and get everyone else gathered on the lower floors first, and then try and make our way up to floor 20.
Sounds good to me.
Alright. Let's move it then, and let's hope that Adele actually manages to find Finn, figure out what's going on. One moment.
Real quick,
Mhm.
Cody. Whenever we get to it, do you mind if I set the scene for what
Oh, absolutely.
or
You know what? Let's actually do that right now.
Oh geez, my cat decided to try and get up on my bureau and try and knock something over. I only noticed at the last moment because she was just about to knock one of my little porcelain figurines over, and I was about to whip her ass and she knew it.
Cats, they just want attention.
Yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much everything for this point. Just going to try and get the other wolves down as low as we can in the levels. Since, elevator's not working, so I assume there's probably some maintenance stairs or something.
Yeah. There are other ways to get around in,
Just follow the holes.
Yeah, so, okay. So you're bringing them down to the lower levels, like lower, like the ground levels. Are you just pulling them out right now?
Yeah, basically allowing them to get outside and gather a little bit. Just try to have them be able to gather their wits.
Okay. So you go about doing that, but that's going to take some time. We're going to go to Adele. So Adele,
Hmm?
um, you fly up through the hole, up to floor 29, land on the ground, and walk into the throne room. And Evan, you can go ahead and take it from here.
And you can kind of see it's almost half leaning, half laying on the side of this unconscious wolf. You see Finn just kind of stirring and rising as you walk in, and you get the slow shot of him walking up and over the destroyed throne, nearly stumbling on the way down, just stepping over collapsed wires and ceiling tiles. Fucking did it.
I know. I saw the last bit of it.
The-
Adele quickly flies over. Come on.
And Finn will kind of put both of his hands on Adele's shoulders. Where are the others?
They're down in lower levels. They're getting They're getting everyone out. I came to get you.
And for a moment, you kind of see Finn's face go from this very tired worry to almost a half smile as he lets out a short sigh of relief and then promptly falls unconscious against you.
Adele just kind of rubs Finn's back a bit and then lifts him onto his shoulder. It's like, all right. He looks over at the alpha. Like, is it still big?
Yes, it is still enormous.
Adele looks for a window.
Okay. So you find this is actually a very large window that Victor used to use to observe the outside from the throne room.
Do you think
brooding
I can carry,
window.
do you think I can carry Finn and the alpha outside?
Oh, the alpha is outside of your carrying capacity for sure.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Like, that thing is huge.
He described it 30 feet tall to the shoulder.
30.
Oh, no, not 30 feet tall to the shoulder.
Oh,
It's
shit.
32 feet at its longest.
Oh,
So from snout to the tip of its tail is 32 feet long.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, fuck.
Adele just like, oh, great. Maybe I should bring back others. Maybe I should bring up the others. Maybe we can all lift him out of here. Maybe. Is the alpha still alive?
Yeah, the alpha's still alive. It's breathing, but you can hear because it has a busted up larynx that each breath is a struggle. You can guess that there's some pretty important things broken in there, and the alpha might not be able to last forever, unless if it's not medically treated.
Great. Hold on, buddy. I'll get someone up here. Adele takes Finn and goes out the window and flies down to put him wherever everyone else is being put.
Okay, so you approach the window, charge your fist up with fire, and punch a hole in it. Glass shatters, and wind blows into the throne room, and you fly down. Okay. Meanwhile, back at Ulrich and Rye. So you guys have made it to the lower levels, and you have let the wolves out, and you see them. They seem like they're getting a little bit more comfortable. A lot of them are lying down and lounging. A couple of them, though, like you can hear their stomachs growling, and they keep eyeing Rye. It's you guys go. Really, Dan?
Oh boy. All right, we're gonna have to take care of that. So, all right, let's head to the lab and see if we can get the serum situation figured out first. Then we're gonna have to solve that problem.
Yeah, I don't exactly feel comfortable getting my family out of here into that.
I can't say I blame you.
Am I floating down
So,
by chance?
Yes, you are floating down by this point.
I could probably hear the flap of the wings, and glance up. There you two are.
Ah, the alpha's hurt bad, and Finn looks like he just barely won. But alive. I can't lift him though. Looks treatable though.
Oh, fuck.
So Finn, at this point, you start stirring, and you are awake.
Adele is carrying you bridal style, by the way.
After like
It's just the easiest.
yeah,
Without you getting smacked by wings.
it can put me down, and he genuinely sounds lightly concussed.
What the hell happened up there, Finn?
Finn, you're barely conscious, man.
I
So-
fucking did it.
What do you mean you did? Could you please elaborate?
So as you say that, you can see all of the wolves around you guys, and they, like, as soon as Adele touches down with Finn, all of the wolves get up and start moving towards the center. And you can see them just all staring at Finn. And it's not threatening. It's if I had to describe it, it would be more anxious, more like they're waiting on orders.
I could probably furrow his brow for a moment before he puts two and together and slowly looks towards Finn.
Finn,
You
by the
did-
way, looks absolutely destroyed, like completely scratched, bloodied up. His cloak is about half torn off. There's a giant, like, fresh markings of a wolf bite that covers his entire shoulder.
He won.
Finn, oh god. You're...
I'm the alpha.
Alex's gaze just kind of falls for a moment as he's trying to process this.
Now's not the time. You gotta hurry and get the rest of the people out and get your dad out of there and heal.
Right. Sorry,
Wolfpack.
I
Leaf. Sorry, not Leaf. Fuck. Shit.
Finn!
Adele.
wrong game.
Tough one.
you heard him. Start getting people out of there.
Okay, so the wolves immediately get up and start running back into the ship, and you see them climbing up the levels, and you immediately start hear screaming.
Oh lord.
Finn!
Oh shit.
Come on.
Let's get in
Oh.
there.
Adele will fly after.
Finn, you really could throw that through a little bit.
You're lucky I can think.
Let's be fair, he's half conscious.
Yeah, this is a perfect time for you to realize you're alpha. Perfect time!
Hey Rye,
Hmm.
do you have some medical abilities by chance?
Nope, I used the only syringe that I managed to hang on to on Volusia already.
Well then, guess we'll have to find more. Do either of you
Wow.
two know find lab.
The lab, level 20.
All right, I'm gonna head there. See if
I
I
was
can
about to
find.
say, Finn, Liam, you go see if you can try and calm down the rabbits.
Liam nods and starts to move towards going up the stairs to follow the rest of the wolves. He pauses, turns to Finn, gives him kind of a bow, and then runs up the stairs.
Oh, I was gonna give Finn to Liam.
Or you? Okay, you can still do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so. Oh.
Ra, you may want to go with them too.
Okay, so Liam continues with the princess carrying, but there's like this respectful like cradle as like I mean it's like he's it's like he's carrying his king up the flight of stairs. And Rye, are you gonna go with him?
Yeah, may as well.
All right, Ulrich, let's fly back up the elevator shaft. We can reach 20 faster that way. Get your
Yeah,
dad.
that would be best. We need to try and find some more of those healing syringes, and I need to see if maybe he might have had a serum working in the process.
All right, let's go.
Upwards. Again,
Adele,
arms!
Adele grabs Ulrich from behind and just lifts him up and goes flying up the shaft.
God, this is not what I had in mind!
Would you rather me carry you like a princess?
Fuck you! And not even that way!
All right. So we're gonna take care of Adele and Ulrich first. So, you guys get up to because you guys are flying. You're not going upstairs. Floor 20. The lights are flickering on this level. You can see there are many different tables all over the place, and you can see blood stains on these tables. Like a lot of them look really, really old. You can see like where people were cuffed to the table. You can see operation tools next to them. You can see all kinds of computer screens, many of them showing cybernetics and how to cybernetically modify something. There are also, as you continue to explore, you find an area that holds lots of different chemicals and lots of different distilling technologies.
Alright, this is what we're looking for. Jesus, looks complicated though.
Don't expect me to know how to do all this.
I'm
Not
not,
the sm- Or the wisest, for that matter.
I'll just see what I can manage then. Alright, let's see if we can find any of those syringes first, and then I'll start seeing what I can figure out about the serum.
All right. Adele goes off to look around.
All right, Ulrich. Go ahead and make an intelligence roll.
Okay, before that, there's something I want to do real quick. I'm using my
Okay.
wolf strength spell.
Okay.
And I'm going to go
Using
ahead
that to
and
make
swap...
yourself smarter.
Yep, swap my intelligence scores.
Okay.
So now instead of 8, I'm sporting a whopping 14.
Oh wow, you got big brained all of a sudden.
Yeah,
Okay.
I get big brained as a wolf. Explain that logic.
Well, everything grows, including your brain.
Are you serious?
Oh,
Alright, Jesus, why are you doing this to me?
Alright, Satan.
Oh boy.
I
Okay.
didn't think counter on that shit. I could just re-roll it if I want to.
Not if you break everything.
All right.
Looking for
So
the serum. He's not actually mixing up anything. He's just looking.
all right. So we're gonna say that you're looking for the serum, and kind of everything just comes down on you and just hits you hard. Just the memories of this situation, and all the pain that you've had to go through, all the emotional trauma that you've kind of been dealing with, kind of all just hits you at once, and you're not even able to think straight or just really look for really look for the serum or really find much of anything.
I imagine Adele probably would look over and just kind of see Arwick kind of brace on one of the tables, head low, shoulders trembling, just trying to struggle through, thinking through all this shit, but clearly not working.
Adele comes over, puts his hands on Ulrich's face, and is like, "Hey, come on, focus. I'm trying to help. I'm trying to save everyone. Remember? Focus."
After a moment, Arwick would probably just snap out and shake his head, just, fuck, sorry, fuck.
No, this is hard, but we have to get everyone out and help your dad first.
Right, just...
You're having some trouble finding what you need.
Adele cracks his knuckles and looks over his shoulder.
So, sure enough, there's Victor staring at you guys.
Really,
Another
one
one to
fucking
kill.
hell!
Hooray!
Okay, so there's Victor staring at you guys. Just calmly acknowledging your presence. Just
Another clone the
you
murder.
don't have to shout. Huh?
Another clone the murder. Great. Cracks his knuckles.
Don't get excited. I really am dead this time.
Are you?
What?
He walks towards you and he just sort of walks through you, but it's not like but it doesn't deal any damage. You realize that what you're seeing in front of you is just a hologram.
A hologram?
What the fuck?
He shrugs. He's just like, soul can remain in the material world for up to 3 days before it's forced into the afterlife. It's the reason I had to create this machine. I wasn't powerful enough to bring my daughter back when I lost her. What you're seeing right now is my consciousness, and in my case, my soul is attached to the computers that are in this base for a while longer.
Adele looks at him like, All right.
What exactly are you doing here?
Really sure. All of my hopes and dreams have just been dashed, and I have absolutely no power to take revenge on you.
Maybe you should be done then. Maybe help us.
He shrugs his shoulders and he's like, why should I?
If you don't, we'll just find it ourselves.
Ooh. Well, you do know how to make a threat.
Maybe destroy all the computers along the way.
He kind of smirks. He's like, if you think that I'm afraid of death, trust me, I'm already resigned.
I'm glad you're accepting of it.
Well, if you need a further reason, then please try and make up for the hell that you have done. That you put me and my family and Rye's family through. I think your little girl should at least have one thing to be proud of her father before you cross paths again.
I gotta say, down there, I did see her. She was happy to be free.
Saw my daughter?
Yes. She was happy to be free of their madness. She was so worried about you, it seems.
So, his face, looks a little heartbroken to hear you say that. And he just kind of looks to the side and shrugs and gives a sigh. And he's like, fine. Suppose I do not regret what I did. But I suppose there's no reason not to help clean up some of the mess afterwards. ill feelings towards the wolves. They were incredibly useful tools. He points a finger. He's like, and gives you a code for this door. And he's like, over there is the regen serum, and over there, in that compartment, that's the antidote that I promised you. Administer that directly to the alpha. The wolves should start to regain their consciousness.
All right. Alex just kind of glances towards Victor. No. There's not really any worrying about what you put me through, what you put them through. And while forgiveness isn't quite the word, but I appreciate this help at the very least.
Are you thanking me?
I wouldn't say that, but
Well, you were a worthy adversary. I do not begrudge you. I would have done the same in your place. This is goodbye. For good. And you just kind of see his hologram flicker and disappear.
alright, let's get moving.
Roger. Roger that.
And you probably would notice Alex just kind of stiffly moves towards the compartments at this point.
Adele moves faster than you then, going right towards them to get everything.
Okay, so you guys are able to collect just a ton of regen serum, and you are able to collect one particularly, like, just super large syringe that has the antidote that Victor was talking about.
Alright,
So,
let's head to my father then.
we can probably fly up from here.
Just be careful, please. We're carrying a lot of fragile, cargo.
I know. Just hold on to everything tightly. I have a few on my belt, but just be careful with them. You're the one
Alright,
holding them, after all.
yeah.
Adele carefully picks up Ulrich and flies them up the elevator shaft.
This is the one
Okay.
time I'm allowing the princess hold, damn it!
You enjoy it.
Fuck off.
So you two start flying up. Let's go ahead and go to Finn and Rye. So you guys make it to. So you guys are climb up to floor 22, or excuse me, floor 21. And you can see a bunch of the wolves. They're not hurting any of the bunnies, but they are dragging them by their collars.
Well then.
Right,
I mean, they're following orders.
a little more gently.
Okay, so like you see like one flailing, but he's just like, ah! And like the wolf that's like dragging him like just kind of stops, and then just starts dragging him slower.
All right,
Gentle.
You did say a little.
all right. Can you try and calm them? They'll probably listen to you.
Who are you talking
First, you've
to?
got to get your
Oh.
folks to stop terrorizing mine. They're not going to listen to anything while they're scared out of their minds.
So at this point, Rye, you should be noticing like things. Yeah, you. The horror of this floor should start to sink in. So you can see all of the Jackalopians here. They're all just dressed in like plain white. Just these plain white, almost just like bags that are just slapped over them. You can see a lot of jackalopians. They are just huddled in their cells. They're pinned into the corner, like as far as they can go. You can see like none of them look malnourished, but none of them exactly look healthy either. They look like they've been under so much stress, given the situation, that like a lot of them you can just see like their eyes are just dead. Like some of them look like they're in stark terror. Others look like they've just been in resignation for so long. Yeah, you can tell that these guys have had it rough. Okay, guys, go.
Yep. Well, Finn will give the order to stop taking them.
All right. So the wolves stop their action. They kind of just drop the rabbits. Some of them run back to their cages, and others just sort of huddle there. Like some of them just hang. Like some of these guys just like curl up into a fetal position.
Not if you could I?
Right now, he's just trying to breathe.
Look, someone's gonna talk to them, and they're not gonna listen to me.
I don't even know where to start.
Start with telling them that we're not here to kill them, and then finish with taking them out here. Taking them out. And Finn will just kind of put a... I'm not going to say a steady hand, but what is meant to be a steady hand on her shoulder that just kind of slips off after a moment.
It's just enough that Rye's able to steel himself. And then rather than calling out to the entire room, he goes into the nearest of the cages and just starts quietly talking to the folks who are in there and coaxing them into believing that it's time to go.
All right. So the first face that you see, so you see you see three people that you maybe kind of recognize. Like you knew, like you kind of maybe saw them in your city at one point or another, but you didn't like really know them. But the first face that you do see, that you do recognize, is one of your sisters, and we will call her Ashley. So Ashley looks up at you. She looks to be about your age, but she is younger. Like Jackalopians age very, very quickly, especially like in their younger years. So she looks up at you, and like it takes her a little while. She's just like, "I is that you?"
Ashley. Oh, thank goodness you're
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, so she rushes up, embraces you, and she's just like, and she just starts sobbing. And she's like, "Mother and I, we heard the scientists talking, but I didn't believe. I didn't believe until now."
Everything's going to be okay now. It's time to get you all out of here.
She looks at you a bit sadly, and she opens up this fist that has just been clenched super, super tight up until this point, and you see this this wadded up piece of paper, and she's just like, "Here, it's from Mom."
I take it.
You unravel it, and you can see in your mother's handwriting a letter written to you, which you can choose to read now or later.
I'm gonna read it now.
So let me pull that up. Okay. My little Rye, I love you. I still don't approve of your life decisions, but I love you. Please go back to church. And then you see...
Sorry, I couldn't hold that sword. It's just fuck. Please go back to church.
After this opening sentence, though, you see a couple of tear stains, like right underneath of these lines. The letter continues. Right. By the time you read this letter, I will be gone. I won't pretend that I'm not scared, not just of dying, but of leaving you without saying I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I wasn't a good mother to you. Your father and I did the best that we could, and I'm sorry if we didn't always understand you, but we never loved you any less than any of your other siblings. Looking back, I wish that I knew of other ways I could have supported you, made you feel less alone, and now I'll never get the chance. But I want you to know that your father and I, and Sarah and Sarai and Jezebel and Mary Magdalene and Mary Sue and Esther and Nephira and Samira and Moroni Nina and Lucy will be watching you and cheering you from the other side. The scientists here talk about this group of Hotblood disruptors rebelling against the Edgelords, and that you're part of them. I also know at least some of what you went through to rescue us, and I am so proud of you. I am so proud of your determination, your strength, the person you have become, and the person you are becoming. My brave little rabbit, please don't ever stop moving forward. Please always know that you can do it. Look forward to where you are going, but please don't forget where you came from. Don't forget us, because even if we aren't here with you now, we will never forget you. And above all, my precious, sweet little rabbit, what I would want for you more than anything as a mother is to be happy. So please be happy. With all my love. And she signs her name.
Rye's tears join his mother's on the page.
Okay. So you can see some of the Jackalopians start to stir a little bit. You can hear some of your younger siblings, like you can hear their voices as they're just like, is that Rye? That's my brother. That's my brother Rye. You can even see one Jackalopian that like you think might be one of your siblings, but like you know that they were a baby the last time you saw them. And you can see more and more of the other Jackalopians that you don't maybe recognize starting to break out of their stupor. Some of them even are starting to crowd around you.
It just takes a few moments to regain his composure and try to find his voice again. Carefully folding the letter back up and tucking it into a pocket close to his heart.
We do now.
We get out of here. We go home.
One
We
of
try to
your
rebuild.
younger siblings takes your hand, saying this. Okay. What are you doing?
I'm going to move out of that particular cell because the crowd growing around me isn't going to all fit in it. And I'm trying to get everybody out of their cells anyway. Looks as though folks are starting to come to, and it's time to lead them out.
Okay.
But I also want to make sure that everyone comes. So if there are any stragglers, go talk to them one-on-one first.
Okay. So it's gonna take a while. Just because the stragglers, they take a while to come around. But eventually, you are able to convince everybody to come with you. And they start moving. And you guys all move down on to the lower levels to exit the ship.
Yep, and whenever it seems like Rye's got everything handled, Finn's gonna look up at Liam and kind of, could you help me to the old Alpha's quarters, the throne room? Fucking Christ!
Like,
I can imagine you stammering like that because you are concussed.
Yeah.
Yep.
so he kind of gives a smirk. He's like, "Yeah, my new Alpha, I can help you do that." And he just starts the long. Oh wait, no, actually, never mind. He can turn. Well, no, he's not big
He's a
enough.
little big.
Or he's too big. I was thinking he could turn into a dragon, but that hole's only so large. So he starts the long process of climbing up the stairs. Okay. So back to Adele and Ulrich. You guys make it to the throne room. You see the wheezing Alpha in front of you, and I'll go ahead and let you guys take it from here.
All
Alec
right.
will probably just stumble forward. Father.
Adele will follow after, serum in hand.
So the Alpha's eye opens up, and it looks at Ulrich. This time with maybe a bit more recognition in it. Like he's able to remember you from like a far off dream.
Alright, let's get this regen into him first, as he's kind of fumbling with the needles before sticking one into him.
Okay. So it's actually a little bit of work. His skin is really, really tough. But with some persistence, you're able to start driving some in. And you can hear like some popping noises and some snapping noises as his shattered larynx kind of starts to put itself back together.
Adele shudders a bit at the sound.
Yeah, Alex.
You hear a giant-sized whine, like dog whimper, as this is going on.
All right, let's get that. Let's get this in him now. Adele looks at the special serum.
Alright. Go ahead.
Adele pets the head of the alpha. Don't worry, just a pinch.
So,
It's not a pitch.
I will say, so Victor did also give you guys some instructions on how to remove the collars, and that in order for the process to be completed, you do need to remove the alpha's collar first.
All right, here we go. Adele will rip off the collar.
Okay, just completely ignoring all the codes that Victor gave you. You are able to.
Oh, wait, hang on! I didn't realize there was codes.
There are codes.
We thought the codes were for the compartment doors, not for the collars.
I totally forgot. But retroactively, he gave you more codes for the collars, like that you could just like type into the collar.
Okay, that's nice information to know.
My bad GM. But yeah, there you go.
Well, bad
Alright.
GM, bad players.
Type
Yeah.
in the code. We all have some blame here. Type in the code and prepare the serum.
All right. So the huge collar pops off. You can see some of the incision holes in his neck where the collar regularly pumps a serum in. You kind of go through one of those, and so at first the alpha kind of just takes it meekly. Like he takes the incision very meekly. Like you're able to drain all of the fluid, or I should not drain, but pump all of the fluid into him. And after a little bit, you see his eyes suddenly go wide and they just glow yellow. And he jumps up and just starts freaking out. You see him spin. You guys are kind of flown backwards as this 32-foot long giant wolf is spinning around. And then he just kind of like falls down and starts to roll for a bit before settling down.
Okay, that was a bit of a heart attack.
Oh, fuck. My back.
Ow.
Okay. So you can see steam start to rise up from him as his form starts to shrink. Excuse me one second. I had a cough there. So his form shrinks. You can see his hair starts falling out. The cybernetics start to be absorbed more into his body. And you can see your dad lying there in his birthday suit as he's shrunk all the way down and he's in his humanoid form.
Imagine Ulrich just responding volatilely to this. He's just like, this is the same as I don't know what to say. Oh god.
Adele looks at Ulrich, then looks at the
He's curled up, like all of his goodies are hidden. So
Yeah,
It's like walking on one of your parents while they're getting dressed with their back to you. It's one of those things.
Just
It's like
walking
nope,
on a room
nope,
full
nope,
of
nope.
Straight
Adele.
man ass.
Adele walks over and tries to find like maybe a cover or something to wrap the man in before picking up and putting him on his shoulder.
yeah, I mean, there's not really any covers around yet. Like you've kind of just got a destroyed throne and a destroyed gigantic window. There's,
All right.
Adele Victor
doesn't-
wasn't exactly keeping a spare lab coat around.
I wish.
On this
I
floor.
wish.
Well, Adele doesn't really care at the moment as he picks up the man and puts him on his back. It's like, okay. Let's go.
All right, let's just make.
Don't worry.
Oh, Princess Carrie for the alpha. Okay.
Imagine
By the way,
moments after they leave, Finn just shows up. Oh, where the fuck did he go?
I imagine as we're stepping out of the throne room, you guys show up.
As soon as we fall down the shaft, you guys pop open the door.
Yeah, so
Yep.
yeah, you and Liam pop through the door. They're already gone. And Liam like kind of cocks his head for a bit. He's like, huh. Looks at you for a second and he's like, something's changed. Still there, but
I
it's
mean,
not the same.
yeah, the giant fucking wolf isn't. Where the
Gone.
how the fuck did?
So
Probably
you can
from
just
the
see all like the massive clump of fur that's left over.
Jeez.
And I will say, so for Finn, since like even though you wouldn't technically consider yourself a werewolf, you do have some werewolf qualities in you, and so you are able to sense the bond. You can sense your bond with the other wolves. It's still there, but the bond that remains is less of a compulsion of dominance, less of a stealing of free will, and much more of a bond of just like respect.
I went down from a 10 to a 3.
You went down from a 10 to a 6. I mean, like they like if they follow you at this point, it's because they choose to. But at the same time, in terms of the way that the bond works, most of them will choose to follow you simply because they respect that you beat the alpha. You are seen as the strongest wolf, even if you normally swim in the water.
Yeah.
So, that being said, the throne room's still empty, and you guys are just sort of awkwardly standing up there.
Might I add, at one point they probably hear from the elevator shaft like a scratching of Howard's claws as he, Adele, and Garant are heading down, just like, easy!
They probably hear the laughter of Adele, just falling as fast as possible.
This is not a funny moment!
Come on,
Just a
thrill us.
panic. I am not meant to fly, damn it!
Well, I'll take.
So Liam kind of smiles. He's like,
I'll take it. At least he's not dying.
Nobody's panicking.
And
Adele's
Finn's gonna use
amused.
his last 3 myth to cast heal on himself now that he knows the big werewolf isn't about to die.
okay. All right. So I don't know how much HP do you heal.
4.
Wow. Your guys' healing is terrible. It's because you all have only one will. Okay.
I'll have you know.
You can set me down now.
So Liam kind of smiles, sets you down. He's like, what's along with you guys? Seems happy.
Happy as he's screaming bloody murder down the elevator shaft.
It's happy.
And evil laughter.
Happy
following
as
it.
you scream bloody murder on the way down.
And evil laughter following it.
There's happy
Yeah,
screaming.
happy.
It's happy screaming, yeah.
Yeah.
Followed probably, but I'm going to murder you when we hit the bottom of this fucking thing.
You can try.
I'll try.
But you
Okay.
can't fly up, can you?
Fuck off, thud. As they like hit the bottom, more than likely.
All right, so we're gonna montage you guys to the point where everybody's leaving the ship. Okay, so all the rabbits, all the wolves. By this point, all of the wolves are in humanoid form. You can see that they've found some limited clothing from the scientists quarters. You can see that all of them resemble Ulrich and Rye. Like they look like they've had the same type of cybernetics done to them. So you can also see some dust clouds in the distance as you see like half a dozen of these buses driving towards you.
Oh lord!
And
Oh lord!
Is our bus still intact?
yes, your bus is still intact.
Thank God.
And these buses look exactly the same as your bus.
Oh,
Adele
whoa.
was
Man, good thing Camp
Leave.
Moon had a nice fleet of bus.
Thank goodness. Well,
Well,
fucking hell! This feels like a feverish nightmare.
it seems like it's over now.
Yeah, I guess.
So the buses all stop, and you see the bus doors open, and you see uwus start to pile out.
Alex all
And
about the uwus.
Mm.
Like, oh lord, here we
So-
go.
Okay. The thing is, I don't imagine the uwus as like that, like them 90% man, 10% wolf that most werewolves are. I imagine them like they look like they're a fursuit.
I mean, they look like Luna from Hell of a Boss.
I don't like. It
yeah,
just,
no, that's what they look like. Hell of
Oh
a boss.
god! It's
Yeah.
a bunch of Lunas!
Hug.
So yeah, no. All right. So they're all the uwus are piling out. As you're seeing them, it looks like all of the uwus like got in better shape. Like they've all now got really tight cores. They've got a little bit of muscle in their arms, and like you see, like they're carrying like well, no, actually all of them would be carrying katanas. So
Oh, Lord.
you see them
Oh,
like
no.
unloaded with katanas. And you
They're literally
see
Lunas.
Jacob, he comes out like he's got two katanas strapped on his back, and he's looking at the ship, and he's like, well, we came to help, but I guess you guys didn't need it.
Again.
And he kind of scowls over at Ryan. He's like, hey, I had to get these guys in fighting shape before I could bring them over, okay? It's not my fault.
Adele looks over.
Obviously.
I mean, you did more
Hey,
than that
no blame
spider
from
guy.
me.
Hey.
Yeah?
We appreciate the support, nonetheless. Thanks for coming out here. We're going to need to get everyone out of here anyway.
Yeah, and all things
Jacob kinda
considered with
nods.
recent events, this defensive force might be needed.
Yep.
Understand, and we'll provide whatever support you need. And then you hear this other voice like, you will provide that and more! And
Oh no! Fuck! As Alec very quickly hides behind Adele, not again, not again, not again, not again!
Adele cracks his knuckles. Okay, old man. It's time to throw down.
Maybe
see
let's not
Wheelchair
touch the-
Sensei wheeling towards you guys. He's got like this furious face on him. He like glares at you guys, and then he turns over to Jacob and he pulls out his fly swatter and just smacks him in the face. He's like, you forgot to help me into my wheelchair.
Oh, no.
Oh no!
Back. And, like, Jacob just like
now.
Jacob's just like, sorry, wheelchair samurai senpai sama. And a wheelchair samurai sensei turns to the rest of you guys like, and you, my students, who left me behind, I will never forgive you. Don't even try to apologize to me. Stop it. Stop telling me you're sorry. It's unseemly. I will never forgive you. Ever. Okay, I love you guys. Come here.
Oh, wait.
Like, you guys, like, his arms outstretched.
Wait. We got other things to tend to first, like my father, which, oh god, nope. As he
Del-
realizes he's actually been pressed against his father's back. Nope, 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 nope.
Finn will
Oh, I'm so proud of you all. I understand you had to go your own way. The student must leave the master at some point. But
Okay, this is getting kind of awkward.
It is. Thank you, Master.
congrats on the new
Meanwhile,
student.
yeah,
I think it's
meanwhile-
hilarious.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Alec turns his attention to Jacob, and she's like, "Do you have any spare clothes on that bus, by any chance?"
Finn will be taking off his shredded pirate jacket to put it over.
That's
there.
not gonna cover much.
I was about to say we need a bit more cover there, Finn. Like a lot more cover.
yeah. I mean, we might have some campers uniforms that could fit. Might
I
be a
need
little bit of a
pants. That's all I
tight
need.
fit, but
Pants to
we'll
put on him, please.
see what we can do.
Yes, please. Because honestly, at this point, I've probably seen too much of my father at this point.
Okay, so at this
Uh.
point, a door from the ship explodes off, and you see a little lolly fist as as Joe just like sticks her head out, and she's just like, "We did it!" Oh, hey
Joe,
guys.
thank goodness.
Why'd you have to punch the door off?
It's Joe. What do you
Because
expect?
it's more fun than trying to open it using the handle. Duh.
I suppose you're right there.
Joe,
This
get
is
over
a
here, please.
bad guy's hideout. I'm allowed to trash it.
Joe, just get over here, please.
The bus, though.
So Joe jumps down, lands on the ground. She's like, "I brought some prisoners," and you see Bug as he's leading 4 scientists in lab coats, and like you can see they've been handcuffed. He just sort of pushes them out, and they
They've got
fall
spaghetti
hard.
wrapped around their wrists.
Yes, you know what? Yes, they've got spaghetti straps.
They were privy to spaghetti
yeah.
bondage.
Bug, I thought you were gonna save that for my date night.
Oh,
Wait, what?
sorry. I will make more.
Thank
But
you, Bug.
after you guys disappeared into the portal, we thought we'd go save the prisoners, but we didn't have any of the codes, and they did not seem to be following. So we went and found the scientists instead, and then everything started to explode on the ship. So here we are now.
Yeah, that's our fault. Not sorry.
Well,
Oh no! You make big explosion. Very nice. Yes.
Well,
it could have blown up big.
But alright, anyway. Oh, jeez, this entire... Yeah, this is still partly a fever dream. This is still partly a fever dream.
It's not a fever dream, Ulrich. Do you want me to pinch you?
I prefer you not. I would very much prefer you not, especially since you still have my following in your back. Can you get him down and get some pants on him, please?
Well,
I could pinch you. I don't
can't
have your
start-
father on my back.
do
Oh,
it.
just
Do
flusters a
it.
little bit. Don't you dare! Don't you fucking dare! I will tear you in pieces!
Rye, do it. Adele cheers on.
Or just kind of glaring, just like, I dare you.
You're right. Rye, hold his father for me. I'll do it. Cracks his knuckles.
No, as Eric just kind of goes and
Finn will
subconsciously clings to Rock. No, I don't need to see that. No.
Finn will just kind of come up from behind and pat Arik on the shoulder.
God damn it.
Give it a couple days, maybe a week. It'll start feeling real. And he
Maybe.
walks off to go deal with the ubus and shit.
Fuck.
So
Adele's
Joe walks up to Ulrich. She gives Ulrich a big hug and then just like looks up at him. She's just like, "You did it. You saved everybody."
I mean, I guess. He kind of sighs and then realizes he's still clinging to Ryan. Just like, sorry!
Don't let go on my account.
I'm waiting for the wink.
Wink.
Oh, just kind of flusters again. No. Just kind of, like, you can see he's still kind of getting used to his old self again because he's starting to get flustered again.
So Jacob comes up to you guys, and he's just kind of like, "So, what
Should-
now?
Yes.
What should we do with all these people?"
Honestly, that's a good question, because I know for a fact that Hollow Grove's basically a wasteland at this point.
Well, it's only a wasteland because there are no people in it. I mean, last time we were there, there were still houses. I suppose you guys could return.
Yeah,
Your
but
wolves, I mean.
well, they're not exactly mine.
So you feel Liam's hand on the back of, like on the back of your shoulder. He's like, "Ulrich, you may not be our alpha, but you're still one of us."
Even after everything. It's just,
Even after everything.
I don't know, it's just, I guess in a sense I didn't really deserve the position, honestly. Especially what happened to Tryon.
So he puts both hands on your shoulders, looks at you directly, and then he's just like, "Fight to the death with Finn!" And he points his finger like over at Finn, and he's just like,
Excuse me?
"Prove yourself, Alpha!"
Finn
As he
has
glances
what?
over at Finn, that's
Oh.
already pretty much mostly dead.
Finn has what? 8 health.
I have exactly 5 health and 0 myth.
Nice.
Thank you very much.
So
That
wolves
doesn't
start
seem
the
fair.
wolves start to like surround you guys, and they're just like, "Oh, there's gonna be a new alpha. They're contesting for the alpha role."
Oh God.
And like
Wait,
some of them are just like,
hold on.
fight!
Hold on, stop
Everybody stops cheering.
it. For one thing, this is not a fair fight. He literally got his ass handed to him on the ship. I'm not exactly
Okay.
at full strength myself, but still kind of an unfair advantage, considering he can barely stand.
Is there people with healing abilities there?
You can
Like
kinda
It's
see
a good thing
walking
you
up.
guys grabbed all these regeneration syringes on your way out.
Yeah, you can kind
Adele.
of see
Oh.
Finn in the
Fuck.
process of climbing up on top of a bus.
Alex just kind of realizes this is why I bring this up. Fuck!
Adele flies over.
Glances down at his belt.
All right, in this corner.
Okay, Adele, would you stop?
Adele himself.
I'm just. To be all honest, I honestly don't even know what the hell to think right now. It's just. After all this time, honestly, in a sense, I don't really feel like I deserve it, to be fair. Considering that
Yes.
essentially after I managed to escape Victor, I disappeared. I didn't even bother to return home. Not really alpha of me.
Just as a side note, not to take away from the serious moment here, I made sure to clothe his father with some pants. If he
Thank
does
Okay.
wait.
That is good. All right. So your now conscious father walks up to you with pants on,
Yes.
Thank
claps
God.
claps his hands. And by the way, like, your dad is a beefy man. Like, he's very muscular and just like,
Like Dream Daddy
yeah,
levels?
like not Like what? Like granddaddy level?
No, Dream Daddy.
Hang on.
Oh yeah. No, Dream Daddy would be a good way of putting it. Like he's but like he's like
He's father as fuck.
he's like wide.
He's dead.
Yeah.
He is dead.
He's not fat, but he looks solid. Like he's got kind of yeah. We'll just leave it at that. He looks solid. All right. So claps his hands on your shoulders. You know, you kind of like go down a little bit under the weight.
Yeah, because he's not expecting. Just like, God! Probably almost takes my shoulder off with it.
One of your arms falls off.
No, you just hear the pop because Adele was already putting strain on it before. There's just a pop, just like, That's not good. I'm not sure if that's good or not. Oh, shit.
Okay, so he just looks you straight in the eye and is like, look at me, boy. I said, look.
Howard's not sure if he wants to or not.
It's your father when he's speaking to you.
He just kind of winces and then just very slowly looks up.
Now you listen to me. You didn't return to the village because you didn't run away. You chased after Victor. You went after him. You went after him to fight him like a man, like an alpha. Maybe you're not. Maybe you've still got a little bit of bitch boy still in you, but the kind that turns down a fighter, doesn't think he's worthy, or some uncool shit like that. And yes, maybe you've got some growing up to do, and maybe when you stop whining, you really will be worthy of being an alpha. But you got the makings of one in you. I won't hear you say anything otherwise ever again. Got that, boy?
I don't think Ulrich heard you.
Do you got that, boy?
Boy.
Yeah.
Boy.
Well, apologies, father, if I'm not exactly like Tryon was.
He
I
kind
tried
of
to measure up to him in every way possible. I tried, but nothing ever seemed to be enough. Sure, was it?
cocks an eyebrow at you. He's like, Ulrich, the day you stop feeling sorry for yourself and stop complaining, you will be worthy of being an alpha. But until you stop sulking, you're never going to make it. And he just takes his hands off your shoulders at that point, like, Dreon wasn't as strong as you. Not in terms of fighting capabilities. I see that now, and I saw the potential even back then. But you know what? Treon never complained. Harder on him than I ever was on you. You really want to be an alpha. You really mean it. Get rid of your sulking habits, boy.
He just kind of lowly sighs, and there's probably a little bit of a growl that comes out with it, where his attention shifts to Finn.
Finn is about halfway through climbing on top of the bus.
Now, I'd like to say we all need to head back to the village, but there's one more thing we got to take care of before we go. So he walks up to Finn like as you are climbing up the bus, and he is just gonna sucker punch you in the gut, like as hard as he can. and you just see the stars like shine before you, and you just like kneel down to the ground and fall. And he's like, "All right, I'm Alpha again.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Let's
blow.
head home,
I'm gonna blow a
guys."
fate counter.
Damn.
Oh, what, really?
I will blow a fate counter on that.
Okay.
Damn! Finn ain't going to take that shit.
All right,
I
so
wouldn't either.
you
skip
still got
it.
sucker punched, okay? And you still fell down to the ground, but your hot bloodedness allows you to stand up and get back up to your feet. We're gonna say go ahead and your HP would have hit 0, but go ahead and gain 20 HP and 20 myth, since this is basically a fate counter being spent for recovery.
Oh boy. Dell is very tempted to stop this and wants to.
You kind of see Finn get up, and he's not like he's still not in fighting shape, but he's not like you can see he's pretty angry. I'm pretty sure both of us are a bit too worn for that right now. When we're back at strength.
Very well. Do we have your permission to return home,
Well, I was about
Alpha?
to get to that before I was interrupted. Could you help me get up on top of this car?
Okay, so two of the wolves. I mean, I say wolves; they're in their humanoid forms, but two of them appear on either side of you, and they kind of help you get to the top of the bus.
Now, as I was about to say, and he will get the attention of the nearby wolves before he, continues the speech. Now,
All of them are already watching you. You've got everybody's attention.
those of you who want to leave can leave. Hollow Grove's ghost town just waiting for people to move in. Anybody who wants to stay and keep up the fight, bring it back to him, stop more people like this, you're welcome to join my crew.
So Jacob raises his hand. He's like, "If I may, I have a suggestion."
Alright.
So he looks up at you and he's like, "It's going to take more than one busload of people, even one fleet load of people to take on the edgelords until wheelchair samurai senpai sama came and started training us. There's no way that we would have been able to stand up to an attack against the edgelords, and we're not all as anywhere near as strong as you guys are right now, but we've now discovered that we can become strong. My suggestion is, why don't we spread out recruitment? Why don't we send people to spread the word and collect people to fight against the edgelords? Instead of just having one busload, we can have cities and bases ready to fight when the time comes.
Hollow Grove will be the center of the resistance against this. Train up with
And
wheelchair
Jacob's just kind of
samurai.
like, center? I mean, wouldn't Camp Edge Wolf be like a better center?
Our kind of turns
Just
his attention
saying,
to
we
Jacob
we,
and
we
just swears
lasted
heavily.
longer.
Oh damn. That's pride right there.
Yeah, as I say, Alec just very slowly turns his attention to Jacob and just glares, and you just hear this like deep, almost alpha growl come from him.
Jacob kind of looks like he wants to challenge you, but at the same time is thinking better of it.
Oh Jesus!
Considering he's probably
Keep it in
seen
your
how
gut.
big Ulrich's wolf form is, because
Adele,
he returned to it during the fight with Liam at the camp.
Adele will fly down. Okay, ladies, keep it in your pants.
All due respect, I said what I said for a reason. Just train with wheelchair samurai, and remember to do your wheelchair ups. They're really important.
They're not.
Aye,
States.
wheelchair ups, the most important part of my training.
Don't remind me. Don't
This
remind
man
me.
pushed me off a cliff to make me sprout wings. It worked. Why the fuck did he do that?
Hey, you see some of the oohs are kind of like, like looking like super nervous about the idea of being pushed off a cliff.
To have wings? Oh yeah.
Just train with him. All of ye rebuild your homes, your lives. When it comes time, we'll send word or we'll be back.
So both Jacob and the Alpha nod at you. The Alpha is just like, we'll send word. We'll recruit more people while you're gone, and keep training, grow our ranks and grow our numbers. So when the time is right, we'll strike. We'll give it back to those edgelords hard.
I expect you to be able to whip me soundly by the time I get back. Unless your son gets to it first.
Alpha nods.
Adele looks over at Rye, and the rest of the Jackalopians for that matter. It's like, what about you lot? Especially you, Rye. Well, keep.
So the Jackalopians, like while this has been going on, like the wolves have kind of just been like clustered around the bus, right? The Jackalopians, they're considerably more Jackalopians than there are werewolves, but they've made like a much larger half circle like around the bus, and there's just kind of like this big wide gap between them and the werewolves. Like a lot of them are kind of just like sitting down. A lot of them still look pretty out of it.
Adele looks over at Rye. Rye.
I'm still good for this,
Well,
but I won't ask them to join me.
I should thank you. You came over because of my favor, and it looks like I owe you one for sure. A huge one, even.
It became personal pretty quickly, but
Doesn't make a difference. Still owe you one. Very.
I
big one.
will
Shake.
I will take you up on that at some point.
Nothing too extreme, I would hope.
Don't give him ideas.
Oh, don't worry. I won't drag you to my bedroom or anything.
Yeah, no, at this point, I'm expecting you to do that to Alric.
That would cause an upset between your peoples.
That was
Oh, it's a regular Pocahontas story right there.
Yeah, but Pocahontas didn't drag John Smith to the bedroom.
Oh. Anyhow. So you're the younger sibling, the younger sister that was holding your hand before, Rye looks up at you again. She's just like, "Are you leaving us again?"
As I remember, you were taken from me. But yes, I'm going out. I'm going to continue fighting these evils. Something like this can never be allowed to happen again.
So she kind of looks down, but she nods, and she's like, "Okay." So one of the other Jackalopians just kind of speaks up, and where are we supposed to go?
Utah hasn't gone anywhere.
It's also a long way from here, if I remember the map correctly.
That's why there are so many buses.
Jacob kind of nods. He's like, yeah, need to take them. We'll bring them back to Camp Moon first and get them cleaned up, get them some fresh clothes and some fresh meals, and then we'll start the process of moving them all back to Utah.
Sounds
I
like
appreciate it.
And I will whip them into shape.
No, you are not. Not unless they ask that of you.
Any that volunteer.
Otherwise, leave them alone.
Yes. The thing to turn frowns into smiles is wheelchair ups.
Adele will sweat
Maybe
drop
not.
that. And
But
I
that
can
would
only
be a...
imagine what that even means.
Trust me, you don't.
don't. Never do them.
But I suppose that would also be best in case something comes up. So that way you at least are close to people that can actually help you if such need arises.
Are you asking me to protect the rabbit people?
I was more
I
referring
could not
to...
possibly. I would have to leave my home.
I was
Don't
more
even try
referring
to
the fact-
convince me. Your words will not even reach me. I am not being convinced. Oh, you make a good case. Okay, fine, I will go.
I was more referring to the fact that Camp Moon's close to Hollow Grove, but that works too.
Oh, yes.
Next
yes,
time we
that,
see them,
that,
the
that,
rabbits
that is
come
also true.
Next time we see this group of rabbits, they're all gonna be so fucking buff.
They're going to
But
be
only
weeaboo
their
rabbits.
arms.
They're
So
going to be weeaboo rabbits.
it should be noted that the ratio of guys to girls in the for the Jackalopians, it's like 9 chicks to every 1 dude. Like a male Jackalopian is actually very rare.
Oh my god, it's a
Um,
harem.
yeah.
Generally.
So I mean, you can understand why Utah is maybe the way it is. Okay. So, with that, all of so for every spare seat that they can give, well, actually no. So the majority of the Uwus stay behind. Just enough of them go into the buses to drive them. You see them loading up all of the Jackalopians and starting to bring them back to Camp Moon. The wolves start to just walk back to their home.
I was about to say, can Arok do something real quick before the wolves start fully
Absolutely.
going back? Because he's just going to grab Liam.
Okay.
Liam, hold on.
Liam looks over at you curiously.
I know this is a very weird time, and honestly, it's odd timing that this popped up now of all times, but but he's kind of struggling a little bit, obviously.
Okay, so Liam puts a finger on your lips and he's like, "You don't have to say it."
Really?
No.
Then, may I?
So he's gonna let you do what you're gonna do.
He's just gonna full out kiss him.
Okay. All right. So he full on embraces you, full on embraces the kiss, and you guys have a nice moment.
And after a moment, he just kind of pulls away and looks up at Liam. It's just like, sorry that it was such a long time coming.
He smirks and he's just like, "It's okay."
I imagine at this point that Adele has his hand over Rye's mouth to keep him from whistling again.
Yep. Yep. Adele wants to be respectful here. Even though if Rye looks over, Adele looks like he wants to ruin the moment too. In honesty, he has a very mischievous smirk, like saying he wants.
Lord.
So, like, also as you guys are watching this, so Joe's like bug-eyed, and she's like, "What?" And then you see Bug, he's like, "Oh, I will get to making pasta right away."
Bug. I imagine Alec holds up a hand. She's like, "Don't bug." Stay right there.
So Liam kind of scratches the back of his head, and he's just like, I'm not with you.
I know, but I suppose it's more or less a promise until I come back.
Okay, so he looks up, his eyes kind of shining a bit, and he's like, "Okay." And I'll figure myself out while you're gone. After everything that's happened and after where my mind was and still kind of wants to go back to, I've got some things about myself I need to figure out.
It's alright, just take your time. It's going to be well before I can come back. I know that for a fact. But until then, just look after everyone for me, okay?
I think, man, I'm gonna get these punks in fighting shape. We're gonna be right beside you guys.
Alright, I look forward to it.
I most certainly want to fight you again, you fake dragon.
Okay, so he smiles over at you and he's like, "Yeah, and next time I won't go easy on you."
You're right. You'll be in the ground again. Adele lets go of Rye's mouth. And he puts his fist together.
Our just kind of glares over and just kind of lowly growls as he kind of just clings to Liam.
Liam kind of just shrugs. And I was like, "Big talk for someone who had to fight a 3v1 in order to beat me."
Har har. We can go now if you want. I'm still in fighting shape.
No!
No.
Put it back in your pants.
Alex just kind of flusters it down and hides his face in Liam's chest. She's like, "Why not now?"
Adele laughs
Liam.
and walks over, offers a hand to shake to Liam. Till then.
He takes it and shakes back.
Till then, a friendly challenge. After this is all over, eh?
Yeah, look forward to your friendly defeat.
Oh, well, you're going to be one looking at the ground, eh? I can't imagine how it will taste.
Oh, no, you're going to be the one looking at the ground, except you'll be flying so high up into the air before you fall down and hit the ground.
Enough, and put it back in your pants.
Well, I imagine at this point, as Finn is saying that, Alec will kind of reach up and just kind of pinch both of them on the ear. Stop it!
Adele will laugh.
Liam. Sorry about the eye.
It's okay. I look pretty badass in an eye patch.
Well, I mean, considering some of the modifications at this point, I think the Cybernetic guy wouldn't be too far out of the way.
If not, I can get you an eye patch.
Well, okay, so
Definitely.
he's already wearing
a
metallic looking, fancy looking
No, but like, that's not
eye
real
patch.
He needs a cultural eye patch.
Okay.
He needs
A
a proper
pirate eye patch.
No.
A little skull and crossbones on it.
Okay, no. But Alex just kind of looks up and she's like, "Well, Cybernetic guy probably wouldn't be out of the question, all things considered." And he kind of glances down at his claws as they kind of shimmer with the cybernetics. It took me a while to actually get used to these, but at this point, they're as much a part of me as everything else. I had to work with them at this point. I'm more
We
than
all
happy to.
do. Every single one of us. Even he looks over at the alpha, who's kind of like tracing some of the metallic lines in his skin. Even your dad.
Well,
We're not the same as we used to be. And we carry scars, very visible scars on us that will never go away, but you can either let that define you or you can use it to make you stronger.
well, I think after all this, I'm not letting it define me anymore. Sign Alex, and
Liam
all this.
smiles for you, Ulrich. Okay. So, the wolves, you see all of the wolves shift into their wolf forms. Except for Liam, who doesn't really need to. He's fast enough in his humanoid form. But you see them all shift, and they run off. The bunnies have all left. Well, most of them have all left. Jacob's still behind. There's one more bus load that's getting loaded up, and Jacob's about to take off. He comes up to you guys, shakes all of your hands, and he's like, "Well, you guys can keep the bus as a gift from us." And he looks over at the bus, and like after a second, he smiles in like an affectionate way. He's like, "Oh man, God damn it, Moon." And you guys turn around, and you guys as a group can kind of decide the coloring theme of the bus, like how it's been repainted. But the important thing is that across the side of the bus, in a familiar painter's stroke, is the title Operation Hotblood is across your bus.
Nice.
Nice.
It has hot rod
When the
flames.
hell did he do that?
It has hot rod flames. I don't
I
care
was
what
about to
anyone
say
says.
hot pink hot rod flames.
Hot pink hot
Fuck
rod
yeah.
flames.
Fuck yeah.
I'm down.
Okay, whatever.
It is. Yep, that's it. Adele's
So-
like,
Alex's
man,
only question is, when the fuck did that happen?
that's impressive.
That's quick.
He works fast.
Evidently.
I've been trying to kill him for years.
The best thing I'm saying at this point is let him live. Let him live.
Yeah, he deserves it. He killed Victor in one strike, after all.
Okay, so
Well, a
like
clone of Victor.
Jacob's just like, what?
Yeah. Don't question it. Just don't question it, because I tried to. My brain stopped working, so let's just not question it.
I just think
It was a fresh clone.
yes, it was. That's fair. He was probably not acclimated, but still, nonetheless, one strike. Gotta give him that.
Well, considering how many hits it took to take down Victor, that's fucking impressive.
It took you and me. And
Jacob
everyone.
kind of just looks like he's gained a new respect for Moon. He's like, what? Moon did that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, so just saying no. Don't fuck with Moon.
Maybe a jackass a bit, but you know, at least he's looking out for you guys.
A loving jackass, as they say.
Yeah.
And like he kind of just like looks up into the sky, and like you guys can just kind of like hear like, you know, in the distance, like this phantasmal voice just like, it's Moon, you know, just like in the distance. Oh yeah. Okay, so everybody finishes taking off, and you guys get loaded up on your Operation Hotblood bus, and you
Operation
guys
Hot
take
Bus.
off
The
Operation
Hot
Hot
Bus.
Bus, the Hotmobile.
Oh,
And you guys take off to your next location on your next hot-blooded adventure. And that is where we are going to end things today. Okay.
All right.
Alrighty.
I have to say, I'm satisfied.
Yep.
Got through everything, even though Finn's technically the alpha at this point. We'll take care of that later, but everything else, I'm fine with.
So, our next adventure should take us to Gotham Island. What do you say?
Yeah, well, up next is the Council of Civic Necromancy.
Oh lord, I forgot about that.
That was the original plan anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, but I completely forgot about it because we had all this shit going on. Just like, what the actual fuck?
To be fair, the Council of Civic Necromancy is on the way to Gotham Island.
It
Yes.
is.
Yes,
So,
it
go-
is.
It's
go
just
there.
past the
So-
sacrificial spring.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can see it there in that weird lake.
So we should head down there. Head to the
Yep.
island.
All right.
But that is where we're going to wrap it tonight, folks, with this playing in the background, of course. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, on Operation Hotblood, we will be continuing our adventures across the country in order to face off against Zero and eliminate the rest of the Edge 8. Or, I guess it's not really 8 at this point, just the Edge Lords. But until next time, we will be seeing you soon. So until then, live on, play strong, and roll out. See you next time!
Bye,
Bye, everybody.